Hey, how y'all doing today? This is Ruler Third. This is Nate, Chris, and Brennan. How are y'all doing today? We just
How's
want
it
to talk
going,
to y'all
guys?
about
What up?
WandaVision, episode 8. It was finally a long one.
So,
Ocho.
Ocho. What
Ocho.
did I say?
Shit, octo, but I'm
I
cool.
took Spanish. I took 4 years of Spanish. I promise.
Man, I believe you. I believe you.
I did not. I took French. And guess what? I don't remember none of it. Not a
I can't even speak a
single
single
bit.
sentence in Spanish. You dropped me off in Spain. I don't know what I'm saying.
Nope.
Jeez.
Gone. I took French for 3 years in high school. Don't remember none of it.
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
We kind of talked off camera a little bit, and
Of course.
a lot of the themes I think in this episode revolve around what Nate has said or has been saying for a while. So, um, not that I don't have things to say, and I know Brennan has a lot to say because he
I
said
do.
that. He actually
I,
said it, guy. He said, I
I
have
said
so
that.
much to say.
I do.
So
I do.
I
I have a
really
lot to
want to
say.
hear what y'all thought, what y'all felt, and what y'all saw in episode 8.
I gotcha. Mostly give you my little quick impressions, a little breakdown of the episode as well. So so we start off in the episode they're still in Agatha's basement. We get a full breakdown of Agatha's past, actually like double confirming that she is legit Agatha Harkness from like Salem witch trials, actually.
Right.
What was the year? Was it 1693 or something like that? Was
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, so and I mean, it seemed like the situation she was in, maybe she wasn't completely evil, but like that the other witches just like, nah, yo, like whatever your powers are, whatever they're doing, because it seemed like whatever someone used magic on her instead of like she just sucked it away from them, like she's like a vacuum of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was pretty cool. They started deep diving into like Wanda's past. I really like they retcon some stuff.
Yeah.
I love that they did that.
Yeah.
They was like, nah, you always had those powers.
Right.
Like,
which was amazing to me.
Which
Man.
leads to so much. Like, just going forward, actually. So, and then we finally got to the biggest part where my thing was, where they revealed that Wanda is using chaos magic, which
Indeed.
Nate, can you just dive, just a little
Yeah,
deeper
it is
into
the
that?
signature
elaborate.
magic.
Because you said
Please,
that in
thank you.
episode. You said that when we did episode 1. So I know it's been on the back burner for you. I know it's something that you kind of felt, hoped, and now it's come to fruition. So could you dive a little deeper into this whole chaos magic thing?
So chaos magic is legit the magic from Cthulhu. Like,
Okay.
who was a elder god from before like everybody on Earth was like there and stuff like that. They got banished to another realm.
He's an elder god. Is he an eternal? Like you is this? I mean, you think
Now he's before
he's
before the Eternals. So
okay.
he's like up there with like he's like Lucifer and stuff like that. Like he's like a big like elder god. Like he's probably I don't know if he's stronger than Lucifer. They're probably around the same thing. But he's where the Darkhold comes from. That's his magic book. He's the one.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally wrote on like human flesh. It was all his spells and incantations and stuff like that he knew. So it's not like Marvel hasn't already hinted that like Cthulhu could be a character. Like this is now two things that legit he has created now that have appeared in the MCU. Like I thought it was a good chance to be Mephisto as well, but like when they just straight up said chaos magic, like this is either Cthulhu, like or if they don't use him, they're gonna like fuse his character into what they're calling the Scarlet Witch. You're the Scarlet Witch, because instead of her just being called the Scarlet Witch, they're making the Scarlet Witch out to be like a legendary type of witch or something like that. So They may
Right.
just like so they may not go the Cthulhu route, but it's still this magic, this stuff like that draws upon Cthulhu. And
Mm.
was our going about just going back to like stuff from Doctor Strange, where the Sorcerer Supreme was telling Doctor Strange about there are horrors in the multiverse that would make you want to immediately, run, like vacate the premises and just not ever want to do any of this ever again. Like,
Mm.
I feel like with this whole multiverse of madness, it's going to dive into some of maybe these multiversal like threats. Like Dormammu's one, but there
Right.
are people way stronger than Dormammu. Like
Mm-hmm.
Cthulhu being one of those like individuals. Like
Right.
he's not allowed to exist in the realm of like normal people. Like Dormammu can get into the real world. Like he's like weakened the longer he's away from his own realm, but he can get in.
Mm-hmm.
Cthulhu can't. Like he legit. He's like Sidorak. Like Sidorak cannot establish himself physically into the same plane of existence as like normal people. Like
Nate, I want.
I mean,
go back
yeah.
a second. I just want to back up a second because you said something, and like, so when Agatha says it's chaos magic, Wanda, which makes you the Scarlet Witch. So, and you said something. You said something unique that this the Scarlet Witch, or whatever this being is, because it made me think like, okay, like was this Scarlet Witch always around? Was it always an idea? Was it an actual thing? Is Wanda reincarnated as a Scarlet Witch? Like what is the Scarlet Witch? And you kind of said something interesting a minute ago that maybe the Scarlet Witch is actually some other entity, whether it's taking the shape, or maybe it's Cthulhu or some other force or power taking the shape of the Scarlet Witch. Is it something that possesses one? Like what? Because I mean, it just that scene, it made me think like, okay, like what I've always saw Wanda Maximoff as the Scarlet Witch.
but she's
Now
seen
it's
in
like,
that Manstone vision. Like
yeah,
when
now it's like it's something. Now, how do I say this without sounding cheesy and weird? But did that not remind anyone else of like the Dark Phoenix,
yeah, it did.
kind of thing, where like Jean Grey sees some other entity that may get a hold of her, kind of thing. Like, so I kind of wonder like where they're going with that. I mean, obviously she's going to turn into the Scarlet Witch, but
Yeah,
if
which
Agatha already knows about the Scarlet Witch, what is it? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like what it has to be. I'm sure through her age and experience and everything, she knows about it. She knows about it. You know what I mean? So is it something like, oh, I've heard stories of it, and I've never seen one, and with everything, like you're it. Like, okay, well, what is it? You know what I mean? So
Right. Is it like something of legend, or like
yeah, like
or right, or is it something that you can attain?
okay,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
asking,
But-
Right.
all those questions, right? Yeah.
Right.
but isn't it,
but
I
I'm
don't
kinda
think it's
curious
something.
about that
I
as
don't
well.
think it's something you can attain.
I don't think so either. I
Like
don't think so, because I feel like personally, I feel like if it could be attained, I feel like Agatha would have attained it by now.
'cause I feel like
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
because I feel like maybe Wanda originally started off as just a really strong witch. Like when that whole missile thing started, like she had hex magic. Like she said you could warp probability, which is her original skills in the comic book. Like she has hex magic. Like as a mutant, like she can warp. Just like a really low level reality warping. She can like warp the odds in her favor to make things happen.
Right.
So like that bomb happened to be defective, but it's more like she warped, and your house happened to be the one place where this one bomb led defective where your stuff and your brother somehow weren't completely destroyed, and your house was kind of okay for the most part. Like no, she's like nah. Like Agatha was like no, this wasn't pure luck. This was literally you like you kind of made the odds kind of land in your favor. That like this is how this happened. But
so let's go ahead and dive a little deeper into that scene because I'm gonna ask a question, but I want to go back to what Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver said. I don't know if y'all went back and watched Age of Ultron, but doesn't he say something along the lines like, "Yeah, I grabbed my sister and we ran under the bed as fast as we could," something like that, and I mean, I'm assuming just because they're twins, both of them got their powers or had them. They really hadn't manifested, but I'm assuming both of them had their powers. So I guess my question is now that, and we talked about retconning things, and that it necessarily wasn't the Mind Stone, that simply just enhanced it. How does that make y'all feel? That you now know that somebody in the Marvel universe, and we're not going to throw around the M word because I'm sure it'll come up, but we're not going to use it just yet. But like, how does that make y'all feel that they've kind of gone back? Because I know we've said it before, and I think I forget what episode we talked about did Marvel screw up using the wrong stone with Wanda?
No, they fixed
Should it have
it.
been right? Like I literally felt like, oh, they fixed it.
They're like, ha!
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I guess we've talked about before. Should they have used the Reality Stone, not necessarily the Mind Stone? And I think Nate, what you were talking about, the whole hex magic and uh, uh, um, changing the odds in her favor. But I think we're seeing that now. But I think when we saw early Wanda Maximoff, she was in people's heads and creating all these different images and realities and showing people what their reality could be and all that kind of stuff. And so it always just kind of dawned on me like maybe I should have used the Reality Stone. But anyway, what were your thoughts when they kind of went back and just kind of changed things up and said no? And it was done. It was for me. It was done in a subtle way where I had to go back and watch it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So now this is confirmed because it was done so like fast. She was like,
she just walked it off.
Yeah, Agatha was just like, oh yeah, and then you controlled the bomb for not going off, and it was just like next
Right.
scene. I was like, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa,
Right. Yeah.
Back up a minute, like what are you saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how did that make y'all feel?
I mean, for me, I feel like I like it because it opens up a lot more depth and possibility for Wanda Maximoff's like background and like her character now. Because just purely just the Mind Stone was kind of like, obviously there's a lot more about her and where she comes from, how she gets her powers and how, like I feel like just limiting her to the Mind Stone was kind of like a little bit like not closer to what the comics are originally, but like now that they kind of went back and redid that, kind of makes it's just I don't know. I feel like it makes it better almost for her. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I feel like they almost kind of fixed it, like you said. You know what I mean? I kind of like that they did that. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like the original birth of her powers that was like granted to her at first, and I feel like now that they did that, I think it's a lot better going forward for me.
Okay, Brennan, what were your, and I guess Tanya, what were your initial thoughts of episode 8?
Man, so I thought it was okay. So first and foremost, starting from like the beginning, it was just crazy, just seeing like the Salem witch trials with Agatha, and just seeing like, how that all went down for her, and just kind of getting a little bit of like a backstory on her and how she kind of came to get into the hex in the first place and why she's even there was really interesting for me. And not only, obviously seeing like the background of Wanda and like her powers, finding out that her powers actually were there from the beginning, but also just finding out about the whole Vision stuff too.
Oh yeah,
like she
she
went in
didn't
there,
break it and
didn't take his body.
She left.
So first of all, I just confirmed, like me confirming, like
Hayward's just a whole bad guy.
He
just sucks.
I'm telling you, I was saying this. I'm like, yo, he is a bad guy. I don't trust him.
He's just pissed.
I don't trust
him.
And
I
knew I was right to not
He's just pissed that she created another Vision and they couldn't get that one to reboot the whole time they were trying.
So
That's what it
so
was. He was like, he just
so
hurt.
we,
Like,
we've talked about Hayward a number of different times. Like, and by no means am I siding with dude. You know what I mean? Whoever the actor is, I think he's dope. You know what I mean? He's doing a good
oh, for
job.
sure, definitely, definitely.
But like, is so. And I guess I'm trying to look at it from his eyes. Is he like, yeah, he's a snake. He's conniving. Don't trust him. He has secrets. All that kind of stuff. But
Mm.
that's you know that's everybody working for Shield or Sword or whoever.
Truth,
You know what I mean?
truth. Yeah.
So you know, um, I even thought that. I mean, it even showed some sort of like he even showed like empathy and sympathy towards Wanda as best as he could
Yeah.
to even just let her like see him. You know what I mean? Like she like he didn't have to do any of that. And I guess what I'm really getting at is like, he's trying to essentially protect everything outside of the hex and not fully understand it.
Mm.
Like is yeah, he's an ass clown, okay?
Mm.
And we'll see later on if he is. But I guess I'm sticking by what I'm saying. I just think he's one of those Thunderbolt Ross characters.
He's a really
Who,
bad book agent. Like bad their
yeah,
book agent.
he's just trying to
Yeah,
fight
for
this thing
sure.
the best way he knows how, and he's
Yeah.
keeping secrets. He's not telling everybody. You know, he's obviously a believer in the whole Sokovia Accords and with people with powers, which I think is a little kind of contradictory to what you saw in the little end scene,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
at the mid credit scene, because that was like, okay, like, you have essentially the original Vision now, um,
Mm.
which I want to even get into that with
Right,
with
that's a
uh,
big
with,
thing
with
too.
The
with
White Vision's
Wanda
also from the
literally.
comic books.
What'd you say?
So the White
Oh
Vision
yeah,
is also
with the
from the
White
comic
Vision.
book.
But even before that, just Wanda, and I guess I'll just briefly talk about what I loved about this episode, and something that I guess we have been gradually getting closer and closer to see is this emotion, the sadness, the pain,
Mm.
the hurt,
Hmm.
everything this chick has gone through to get her to this point. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I
Mm.
absolutely loved all that. I loved it so much that they literally went to not just, oh well, why is she upset, but let's go back to every pivotal moment in this chick's life and find out essentially what molded her to this point. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, no,
I
for
Mhm.
sure.
I
And
I,
and
I Go ahead.
yeah, no, I was saying like for sure, and like it was really, I don't know, like if I don't know about anybody else, but like was it sad when like after like all that stuff like went down with like her her parents and like her brother, like she felt like she almost found like something she could trust again in Vision, right? And like she
Mm-hmm.
lost that too. You know what I mean? And it's just
That
like
man,
that. It was so sad.
Brandon.
Like that scene when they were in the room, and it was just like she's just dealing with so much, and he
Mm-hmm.
just made her kind of feel like okay, like it's gonna be fine. And
Sure.
like she lost that same thing, and like I was just like, man, like that. Like I really felt sad for her, genuinely. I really, really did.
I honestly think this is at its core a sad story.
For sure.
WandaVision is
Yeah.
a sad story, and I
Mm.
think that's why, when you go back to those first couple episodes, she's so happy-go-lucky, and you're wondering like what the hell's going on, and you see a couple of
Hmm.
glimpses where she's so quick to fix things because she's just like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. You saw the scene where Monica or Geraldine at the time says her brother's name, and she just like she's doing everything she can, and I think you really got a chance to see essentially the origin of that, to where she's doing everything she can to essentially suppress all those memories and experiences that we actually got walked through. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
you're absolutely right. It's sad, but I think this was always kind of one of those things where we knew this was going to there was going to be light shedded on that fact that, like, yo, there's been some traumatizing stuff.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
some, some really, hell, that scene at the end of Infinity War, where she, essentially Vision dies twice, but that scene where she destroys the stone, that's some sad stuff. You know what I
For
mean?
sure, I know.
The stuff with her
That was
brother,
really sad.
the stuff with her brother, the stuff with her parents. I mean, you go back to Endgame and she's almost ready to kill Thanos, and she says, you took everything from me. Like
Hmm.
you got a chance to see what everything was.
Right, you felt that. You felt that
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
line,
I mean, you
for sure.
literally got a chance to see what everything was in this episode. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Everything.
Right,
So that
right,
was definitely something that I loved about it. That just that kind of raw emotion, and
right.
her
Like,
essentially just the letter or the deed to the house or that piece of property they were supposed to
right,
build
right, exactly. And
was
like,
heartbreaking.
no, seriously. No, seriously, like for like you only saw like Civil War and like you saw Infinity War and like they were already like, very much together, but like it was such short clips. Like it was like, the deed part and like the part in the room, but you almost felt like you knew why she loved him for some reason. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely.
Like you just almost felt it. You're like, dang, like, he really just like made her feel good again for once
Hmm.
after all that trauma in her life.
Hmm.
And then like for that to be gone, like you kind of felt that. You like in it's like two clips where they were like together,
And it's
back
because,
when they were in like the Avengers, like you just felt like you knew why. Like
and I
and
think
like
it's
she just lost that
because,
thing.
and like, and around the stuff
They're
where
so
she's
powerful.
like, she lost so much. Vision was like a actually, for all intents, a super innocent person, like
Mm,
legit, like
right.
Vision for all intents really new to the world still. Like he was
Right.
like
He
that's
didn't
why,
have anything to
yeah,
love to begin with.
yeah, that's why he was telling me. He said,
Yeah.
I've always been alone, so he said, I don't know what it's like to like lose or anything. Like, he just, I just
Right.
like, I just live. So I mean,
Right.
I just, yeah, I don't get everything yet. Like, I mean,
Right. And like, you kind of like just saw like their element of why they like in like one scene and like literally when they were talking, like I literally understood it. It was so weird. It was like,
Hmm.
it was just, but like you really get that, like how traumatizing that was for her. And just leading into a little bit more how I about this episode. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm a little disappointed. All right,
Whoa.
I'm a little disappointed. All right, let me
Whoa.
get into it. Let me get
Whoa.
into it. All right,
Whoa. Wait. Time out.
I'm a little
This
I'm
is
a
this
little
is
bit
unex-
disappointed.
this is unexpected. Wow.
A little bit disappointed,
You got
but
it
my
is.
attention. Not
all
that you
right,
didn't have my attention. But wow. From you.
I'm a little
Wow.
bit disappointed. All right, in
Wow.
this aspect, but I'm gonna also talk about how I feel like this could still happen. Okay, all right. So, she comes out of the sword facility, Wanda, right?
Hmm.
And she goes to the plot of land where Vision was planning to build a house for her and everything. So it was a beautiful scene. Like how you felt her sadness and how she transformed all of Westview, seeing all the characters that you saw earlier in the series, like get warped into this town, right?
Right.
I just feel like I would have loved to see like I don't know, Mephisto just be like, hey, like I can give you all that you ever wanted or something like da da da, da," and like give her the power to create all of this. You know what I
Like
mean?
like
We
like
seen
like like
that.
like,
Like
like
I did
No,
not expect.
no,
What'd you say? Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
because I was gonna say, because we kind of glanced over it. We seen someone come to her. I think that Manstone thing, the boost,
Hmm.
like the Scarlet Witch, I legit think that's Cthulhu. Like, and in the comic book, Cthulhu gives her access to chaos magic before he ever reveals to her who he is. She just starts being able to use it, like, and not just
Mm,
using it, pretty much full access to it.
mm,
In the comic books, there's a point in time where, and this comes in, I think, in the Ultimate Universe, where he takes over her, and when they talk to her, and someone says, like, when calls her name, he says, "Wanda's not here, only the Scarlet Witch is here." Like, and
mm.
that's in the comic book. So, like, if they just want to make it like the Ultimates universe, Scarlet
Uh-huh.
Witch in the Ultimate Universe is legit, was just legit taken over by Cthulhu. That could still be leading her to the villain and Multiverse of Madness.
Right, Nate. And this is
And
why I'm gonna piggyback off your statement right now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
why I feel like there's more to still come in this final episode of WandaVision. Because my question is, why does Agatha want to know how she did this? Okay, I still think, whatever, she has something planned. Like, she wants to know how she did this because I believe she wants to use that magic that she has to do something. If that's revive Cthulhu, she has the dark hold. Like, what is this all about? You know what I mean? I feel like that's what this next episode is going to be. And we're gonna see somebody, because I think she wants to use this power that she has, because she's like, well, how did you do this? How did you do this? I don't think she's just jealous or wants the power. I think she has an objective to do something. To revive somebody. Because, sorry, Chris, I'm gonna let you go in a quick second. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Because she keeps talking about Ralph. You have this rapper, she's saying we. Like, I really feel like she's trying to revive somebody. You know what I mean? This, whoever Ralph is, like, I still believe that's what she's trying to do. Could be Cthulhu, could be Mephisto, could be somebody. But
okay, so yeah. I agree with what you just said, and I'm just piggyback. Two reasons, and I think if you go back to her quote unquote origin, where they were trying to, the witches were essentially trying to destroy her, saying, "Hey, this magic is too powerful for you, You shouldn't have this kind of thing."
Right.
I think that's just her MO. So I think there is some jealousy. There's not only that, but there's jealousy, and there's almost just like anger, because she's like, this chick got all this damn power and don't know how to use it or where it comes from. I should have it because I know what I'm doing, but I can't get it. That's one.
Right. Truth.
That's one reason.
That's true. For sure.
Second reason is what you were saying. Either to give it to somebody, or resurrect somebody. Okay, that's
right.
So that whole order of, when she's holding the dog and her son's like, yeah, you got the power to bring people back. Like,
right.
You're right. There's something in there, but I
for sure.
I think it's one of those two things, and part of me wants to go with. I don't think it's just a jealousy thing.
I don't think so either, because where do you go from that?
You
think she wants the power just to take over the world? Like, what she wants the power for something.
She wants the power to do something with it.
To do something with it.
Either
sure.
To give it to somebody else, Ralph. Okay. I mean, I guess we can kind of even maybe look a little forward here. We only got one more episode left.
Right.
We all got one more episode left.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and put all our cards on the table. We know this last episode is leading right into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
For sure.
Right. We know that. We've been told that. I am 98% sure that there will be a Stephen Strange cameo.
100%.
Whatever.
100%.
So let's just go ahead and what else are we going to see? Are we going to see Ralph?
So this is what I'm thinking for episode 8. Okay. I believe we're going to see Ralph. I believe whoever she's going to get, somehow she's going to get access to this chaos magic before she gets defeated, right? Or maybe she doesn't get defeated, but I think she's going to revive whoever she wants to revive. That might be the potential villain for the Multiverse of Madness. I don't think it's going to be Wanda, which I know I was saying that like episodes ago. I think combination of her and Doctor Strange will have to take down this villain that Agatha created from like the power of the Hex or power of her chaos magic. I believe that.
Do you think it's somebody that Agatha created?
Or not created, or revived,
or unleashed, or unlocked?
Or what? What'd you say?
Or I would say either unleashed. She unleashed somewhere or unlocked.
Right, exactly. It's either somewhere she unleashed, unlocked, revived. Like, that's gonna be the villain of the Multiverse of Madness. And Wanda and Doctor Strange, the two strongest Avengers, you could say, are gonna have to take this guy down. Essentially in the episode. Or in the movie. Sorry.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, in the movie. Sorry, not the episode. In the movie. Yeah.
I think it's gonna.
That's what I truthfully believe.
I think it's gonna be something similar, but gonna go a little bit differently. I think it's gonna be Agatha is gonna push Wanda to like continue to like try to unlock and use this chaos magic, like diving deeper into what happened, and she's gonna essentially cause Wanda to be possessed by quote unquote Scarlet Witch and or Cthulhu. In the comic
Okay.
books, the situation is Agatha eventually gets in over her head with Wanda. Essentially, like she eventually essentially just gets in over her head, like trying to control her, and she's like, wait a minute, this is actually way beyond me. And she ends up getting fucked over by like that, essentially. Like I think it's gonna be a similar situation. She's gonna egg her on trying to understand this chaos magic. She's gonna cause Wanda to actually be controlled by what's it called? Cthulhu. And then I think another thing is gonna happen as well. I think Vision is going to encounter this white Vision.
Oh, for sure.
And this will be how they get Vision back. Because Vision's
back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for sure.
Vision's brain waves and patterns were copied over from Wanda whenever, like, he still thinks the same as Vision, he just doesn't have any of his memory, because his memory is attached to the body. But the body doesn't have any of the brain waves, like, they couldn't get it to revive. Like, so it's just like, they got it to revive using some of her power from inside the Hex. But because they're both connected via the Mind Stone, and the Mind Stone's a whole reality, like, it's a whole, you know, fucking Superstone, fucking. It transcends a lot of stuff. Like, I believe whatever is connected to the Mind Stone is always connected to the Mind Stone. So, like, if Vision's connected to it and Wanda's connected to it because she's been connected to it, that's how she was able to literally make a double of him using, like, her powers that she had, like, while she was in the Hex. Okay, you know, it all came out as, like, kind of like that yellow time stone power when he was revived. It wasn't like the rest of her red power. It was like he was like a whole time stone construct. So I think it's going to be a situation where Vision gets revived via taking over White Vision. And I think
I can see that.
And I think what's it called? Wanda is either gonna temporarily become the whole Scarlet Witch, which turns out to be Cthulhu, or a Cthulhu substitute for just the MCU purposes with chaos magic and the Darkhold. But literally, that's Cthulhu's, like, that's literally Cthulhu's magic. Like, it's just literally his magic.
I think
I can just see Doctor Strange being like, "Yo, you just unleashed something.
Yeah, like,
something's got to unleash. Like,
yeah, like, and you,
this is bad. You know what I mean?
like,
this guy just got released. Like, this is not good.
Like, yeah, Cthulhu shouldn't, like, he should not have gotten a host. Why would you put, like, and I think it might have something to do with the kids. Like, she uses the kids and pushes the kids, like, and that pushes Wanda to, like, go deeper into these whole chaos magic. That lets, you know, Scarlet Witch take control, blah, blah, blah. And then I think with this whole, with Vision still being impeded on getting there, that's just kind of the setup. And with the whole, you know, Darcy having the whole info on, like, you know, the whole Vision product or Project Cataract or whatever they were doing, that's just kind of the lead up for him to literally run right into White Vision. Like, this just literally. And then whatever happens between then, like, I feel like this episode is definitely going to be the longest one. And the whole.
For sure. I can see it being over, like, maybe an hour and 10.
And I feel like the end cameo is going to probably be with, like, Vision meeting with Wanda, meeting with Doctor Strange, all at the apex, and this leads pretty much directly into Multiverse of Madness, where Wanda may be possessed by a Scarlet Witch, does some whole, because this is a Cthulhu, literally a multiversal threat, doing some whole reality warping, multiversal warping stuff, and this just throws everything out of whack at the end of the series, and that's just my theory.
My bad, Chris. Go ahead.
I have, you know, a couple. I just even had a fun one, but I'll save it at the end. Not that I think that's the case, but that would just be fun. Anyhow, yeah, I think we're going to get the White Vision battle
for sure.
You know, I'm still looking for that scene where this is our town, and let's fight for it kind of scene. We've seen that in the trailers. And I guess we get a sense now of who they're actually fighting, which is probably um, I'm assuming because I'm assuming two things. They used that '80s drone which had Wanda's her red magic all over it. They were using that to power White Vision.
Mhm.
So, and you saw him essentially come to life in that scene. So I'm assuming that her powers that he was able to get. Let's think about it. He still has to get through the hex. So I'm assuming that may allow him to get through the hex or break through the hex. Also leads me to my assumption that because he's essentially powered by Wanda's powers, Wanda will eventually gain control over him. And I think that's where you may get essentially the return, resurrection of Vision is through that. Because they showed the drone and it was the red glowing, and he even said, he goes, all we needed was her power, and we had it here all along, and now we're using it, kind of thing. So yeah, I think there's going to be this different battle on so many different fronts, whether it's Vision versus White Vision, obviously Agatha and Wanda, and the
Monica
extent
and Pietro.
Monica and Pietro. I mean, we can't forget about her because when you start talking about like powerful characters in the MCU, she's now like third or fourth down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
As far as her abilities, and a lot of them are unrealized, but when they get to that point,
Yeah.
I think you may very well see a glimpse of how strong she is. um, I also think, yeah, there will be that, doctor part of me just thinks Doctor Strange is just going to show up when like all else fails, kind of what we're doing isn't working.
Mm.
I just had a, like a glimpse, you know, um, or an idea just popped in my head, and Nate, and you kind of touched upon it, like this sort of possessing, and even Brennan, you said it a little bit ago, this sort of deal with the devil kind of thing. You know, Agatha's so hell bent on getting Wanda's powers. Why? Either to have it for herself out of jealousy, or to essentially unleash, unlock something else. And I just had this vision in my head, no pun intended, um, of kind of siding with Nate, saying, okay, maybe she does become this, or maybe she's the one who unlocks it by mistake. Like, we don't know what that book is down in Agatha's basement. Like, what if Wanda's the one who goes down there and opens that up and unleashes everything? Maybe trying to bring back Vision. Maybe Agatha kills the kids, and she's trying to essentially cipher through all this information that she really doesn't know about, and she's actually the one who unlocks essentially, Armageddon in a multiversal, sense. And I think that's when you see Doctor Strange, show up. Either maybe it's possessed Wanda, maybe she is the new Scarlet Witch, the old Scarlet Witch, whatever. Maybe that information, that all that power has possessed her. Maybe she unlocked it. We don't know. Maybe, and let's be honest, maybe there's just more than one that can be unlocked. Maybe it's Cthulhu. Maybe it's Nightmare. Maybe it's. I mean, hell. I mean,
Yeah, I just started thinking about something while you were talking. What if Ralph is still Mephisto, but the Scarlet
yeah.
Witch is still Cthulhu? And this literally it's a power struggle. Mephisto
Oh,
wants the power.
absolutely.
Yeah, Mephisto wants the power of Cthulhu. But if
I mean,
Cthulhu takes over,
it's just.
Mephisto and Cthulhu could legit fight each other, and that would just be a fight. Like
I mean, I
multiverse
would.
goes into
I just.
madness.
Mm.
I mean, when you. I mean, I'm
That
look.
would be insane, Nate.
Just looking forward.
That'd be absolutely crazy.
You have Sam Raimi directing this movie, who he's essentially a horror movie genius. you're going to have this movie that they pretty much already said is going to be a horror movie. Like it's going to be, excuse my language, it's going to be fucked up, and I hope it is.
Hmm,
I hope it is. You know what I mean?
for
I
sure.
hope I hope it's everything that literally just takes Marvel into completely different direction. Not to say that where it has been hasn't been entertaining and enjoyable, but like you start talking about the dark side of these characters and the Darkhold and characters like Ghost Rider and Blade and Moon Knight and I could name a couple others. You know what I mean?
This is the darker side
Um,
of Marvel. I mean, Marvel.
this is
Moon
this
Knight got.
this is this this is where it needs to go. This is where
But
it needs to
Marvel's
go.
always been good introducing like different types of things. I mean, like starting off with like you get like Iron Man, regular Earth Avenger stuff, but like look how great Guardians of the Galaxy did when it was just
Sure.
all space stuff and just aliens. It was just like people like I think when they go in a different direction, people like that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, but also let's to your point, Brennan. Yes, they did a great job with that. Guardians of the
Mm,
Galaxy was funny as hell. I'm looking at a whole other direction. It's just like,
Yeah, going out of the comedy
this
and
is
going more into the
this is
serious.
this is serious.
mm,
So
true.
when I'm looking at, and just to kind of tie it all back in episode 8, number one, yeah, I definitely think an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. There's going to be in it something at the end credits. We still haven't figured out. We still haven't put the pieces together of who this cameo is supposed to be. You know, and I've said
Right.
it probably in every episode. It's not necessarily about us figuring out. It's about us, putting our ideas together, but yet still being entertained. And I think we've been able to do that.
For
Um,
sure.
but yeah, I see, literally from if it picks up right where episode 8, because if I'm not mistaken, this episode takes place. I don't want to say yes, it's a 40-minute episode, but I'm looking at the timeline because Vision's on his way back, right?
Correct.
Remember,
Mm-hmm.
he
Right.
leaves Darcy. He's on his way back, so
Hmm.
I'm assuming he's going to get there probably around around the same time. Wanda, what the hell's going on? Who is this with the kids? What is Agnes doing up there? And she's just gonna be like, no, homie, that ain't Agnes. Like get your shit on. We got to go.
For
I
sure.
see the I
Right.
see the I see the White Vision showing up, busting through the hex because he's powered by Scarlet Witch's powers.
Right.
I see this turning into
It's gonna
like
be
four.
freaking a huge fight. I'm
Right,
serious.
right. I
It's gonna be
see I
huge.
see I see Monica and Pietro, having their little thing. You know what I mean?
Pietro.
Um, I do. I see that, but I see more of a kind of developing storyline. Yeah, there's going to be some fighting and there's going to be some cool effects and all this kind of stuff.
Mm,
I think we'll see Ralph. I do. I think we'll see Ralph, or
I believe so
at,
too.
at worst, we'll find out what Ralph because Agatha said it when she was in the basement. She goes, "Yeah, I have the power down here because I cast a spell." She's not
In
as
the basement, though.
powerful.
Yeah,
She's not out in the street. No, I see her. I see
that's
her
why
just
she had the grip with the kids immediately. She's like, I got the
right.
kids.
Yeah, and maybe it's Vision that shows
Mm,
up and breaks the hold so
mm,
the kids can go free. And I see Wanda dragging Agnes up and down the street. You know what I mean? For a second,
yeah.
I see the
Right.
White Vision. I see the White Vision showing up, get the best of Vision. Maybe I do. I see.
Mm,
I don't want to say like an all-out battle royal, but I think we're going to see that. But I
for
think
sure.
when the layers start to peel back, I think you'll start to see, you know, that kind of, especially from Wanda, everything's falling apart. You know, what I mean, you'll
For
have
sure.
another moment. You'll have another moment in her life, you know, where everything's falling apart.
For
Another
sure.
sad moment, and I think in that moment, whether she fully commits to the Scarlet Witch and whatever powers it possesses, or she goes a different route. You know what I mean? Whether it's what's in Agatha's basement.
Mm,
You know what I mean? I don't know why. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but that's just a thought that I had in my head. Um,
do you guys
I
think Vision and
I
Wanda will be like together again outside of the hex?
I think at the end of episode 8, I think Wanda will have lost Vision again. I think she'll lose the kids again. But I think that could also be a place where Stephen Strange shows up and just kind of gives her one of those, when nothing ever really dies kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
One of those.
I said, I mean, look, you've
Hey,
seen
we just got to bring
Vision.
Hawkeye into this because we all know she loves him.
Hmm.
We just need to bring him here. We all just need to bring him here to talk to her. They're the best friends.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Tells Wanda, listen, Wanda.
That's the one. The raffle look right there, bringing Hawkeye.
The person who doesn't die in Wanda's life.
Yeah, but honestly, how cold was that line? He was just like, he said something about
Hawkeye's a Professor X of the story.
No.
Cameo. Spoiler.
What did he say though in Age of Ultron? He was like, "Yeah, I'm out here in the streets with a bow and arrow."
Yeah. He's like, nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. I'm out here in the streets with a bow and arrow. He said, "But if you go out that door, damn it, you're an Avenger." So,
scene they had at the end of Endgame, come on, Hawkeye's the only one who can talk to Wanda at this point. Let's be honest.
Man, that'd be cool. I mean, that'd be cool. You know what I mean?
He's the professor. He just walks in and he's just like,
look,
Wanda, stop it.
Look, I lost people. I know what it feels like, yo.
Yeah.
For at least 5 years. I mean, Miles came back. Yours came back for a little bit in the Hex, but I mean,
man, I would say, yo, that would not be as big as Luke Skywalker, but I would not be mad if Hawkeye showed up. It was just like Wanda.
Yeah, that Luke Skywalker thing. You gotta promote. You gotta boost up. Your TV show.
You think that's what it was? You think that's what it was?
It's just the fact that there's not a single.
I still think Ralph is coming, but I don't know about
who's Ralph. Who is Ralph? What actor? Who you think is playing Ralph? Who's Ralph?
But I feel like we're all expecting like Mephisto, Cthulhu, somebody, but like we were not expecting Luke Skywalker though. A lot of people weren't. I actually was, believe it or not, but that's a whole different conversation, anyways. But there's a lot of people that weren't, and I feel like now, if you were to bring some character like that, we were all kind of suspecting it at some point.
Yeah, but see, I guess so. When I'm thinking about cameos, I'm thinking like for it to be that big. Y'all saw me spaz out when I thought it was Quicksilver and what that meant. Now I'm starting to think like, oh boy, I got goosebumps over that one. Maybe I won't say that one. Anyway, I'm gonna say it anyway. Like, maybe it is Quicksilver, her actual brother. Somehow.
That would be dope.
That would be dope. That would be crazy.
It's been established that her dad is definitely not Magneto. Magneto may has Magneto would have not died in a bomb strike of metal bombs. Just
yeah, I mean, unless maybe, and then you put
hey, she could be adopted. All right.
You put another idea in my head. Okay, Brennan, the adopted. You know what I mean? Maybe her building was bombed because they thought they were trying to bomb Magneto.
I mean, maybe
that was the whole reason for the attack.
I mean, her mom did look out the window and they were all fighting, so I don't really know why.
Yeah, so they're all calm. They're like, "Yeah, let's just watch these movies."
She's just like, "All right, let me just close the curtain here." Like,
I guess what I'm saying. Like, if it's Patrick Stewart, okay, cool.
Stupid neighbors.
You'll get the whole Wanda, stop it. If it's Michael Fassbender, it's kind of the same thing. He's just a little more grittier than Patrick Stewart, but it's essentially okay. Now we're multiverse. We didn't open the doors. First X-Men, which I still think is huge, by the way. I thought that's what they were doing with Evan Peters' character. But yeah, if Michael Fassbender or Ian McKellen or Professor X or James McAvoy show up, that's a huge cameo. Any way you look at it, because you've now, said, hey, multiverse is wide open. Wide open. And I don't want to go on a tangent like I did a couple weeks ago, but you guys know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But a part of me is thinking that like maybe Ralph is the big cameo.
I think he is as well.
You know, who is Ralph? Who, is it Mephisto? Is it Cthulhu? Is it Nightmare? Who?
I refuse to think she mentioned him that much and we don't see him. I refuse to think that.
I think we'll see him or get a glimpse.
And like,
of
also
him.
that bunny is a little sus. All right. That bunny, like she just fed like the little cicada to him, like he ate it. Like I don't know, like if that's like Ralph in some form and she's trying to get him back. Like I don't know, but that
even
rabbit,
if it is,
okay,
even if it is, she needs that chaos magic to unlock it, right?
Right.
Let's just say that's what it is. Mm-hmm. That's why I think she's so.
And like she said, we like she was talking to him like we, and she's just like, huh, okay, like.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think Ralph could be the big cameo. I really do. I think, and I don't know, man. I'm excited. Part of me is kind of sad because it's ending.
Me too. Me too. It was definitely a lot better than I expected.
I also think that a lot of the questions we have, I don't think they're all going to get answered.
Nope.
For sure not.
Episode 8. I literally
no
think
chance.
It's just like
episode 9.
It's like, hey, well, no, not. I'm sorry. Yeah, episode 9. Sorry. I don't think they're all going to get answered. I think it's going to be, if this moves right directly into Multiverse of Madness, some of those questions will get answered in that, and we'll have to wait and see. Which is
for sure.
Cool,
for sure.
Which is cool. So
gives us a lot to look forward to, So.
Yeah, there's I think if there's one simple thing, one little thing I want an episode that's like an hour plus. If there's one
Me
thing
too.
Beyond
I hope they
else,
do. I hope they do.
I want an hour plus episode. That's it.
I hope they do.
I do.
Well, how much time they got left? Wouldn't this last episode have to be like an hour or some change?
I mean, this one was like 50 something minutes.
This one was 48 minutes.
48 minutes.
Yes, it was.
So it probably might be over an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
but the credits are like freaking 20 minutes.
The credits are long as though.
Right.
My only complaint.
Right. Yeah.
They do cut out the credits. Like the show was over at like the show was over at like 42 minutes, and then it was 48 minutes, and we watched 6 minutes of just straight credits.
Right. Yeah.
There was a mid-credit scene this time, but like still, there was 6 minutes of this straight credit.
But I feel like there's more credits than the movies.
Right.
Golly.
Right. So, hey man, we'll see what happens. Any final thoughts with y'all?
No,
I'm looking forward. I'm ready.
I'm excited. Episode 9. We got a lot of stuff coming on, a lot of the new Marvel stuff coming out. Falcon Winter Soldier, and also just other, different things too, like DC. We're gonna be dipping into. So check out for that.
I would love to get into the Flash.
Look out for that, guys.
I would love to get into Lois and Superman.
Man, we got the Snyder Cut coming. Man, there's a lot.
The Snyder Cut is coming.
A lot of stuff coming, guys.
We're going to try and figure out how we can organize it and make it, easy to manage, and so you guys can see the content. But there's a lot of stuff out there that we would love to talk about. We're going to try and come up with some sort of idea right after we film this. So,
for sure.
So, yeah, just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys, always.
If y'all are enjoying the time, like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good one.